everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Leah and today's video is going to be a lunging video. Now, I don't want to make this like a tutorial on how to lunge your horse because I am not a trainer or a professional by any means. So I'm not telling you that this is the only way to lunge because there are many different ways you can lunge your horse. But I thought this would be kind of an interesting video to show you guys how I lunge Bella and also kind of the benefits that I've been seeing in Bella's training because of me lunging. If you are interested in watching how I lunge my horse, then just keep on watching. Alright, so I thought I would start this video off by showing you how I get Bella ready. So I put a saddle pad on top of her, and then I put the surcingle on top of the saddle pad. That way it's not irritating her back, which is the point of the saddle pad. The surcingle is one of the lunging aids I use at the moment, along with side reins. I put the side reins through the surcingle straps up towards the first loop because I don't have a hook that I could latch it onto, and then I take the billet strap from my saddle pad and I loop that through the side rein. That way the side rein stays in place and doesn't move. Then in order to attach the surcingle, you have to put the little bottom part, which is like the girth, and I tighten that on both sides just like a normal girth. I like to put it a little bit looser than I would for a normal girth since I'm not riding. And then I have her usually step a step forward. Just that way when I tighten the girth all the way, I don't pinch any of her skin. So that's something I do, especially with this or my bareback pad, but I'll also use it with my normal girth as well. Then we're going to do the bridle. So I put the reins over her head and I'm just going to twist them twice or 3 times and then just feed the throat latch through the little loop and then attach your throat latch. I would just make sure that it's super loose. Then to put the lunge line on, you just put it through one of the loops of your bit, put it through the top of her head, and then I'm going to attach it on the other side on the bit as well, and then I'm going to attach the side reins onto the bit also. So I make sure that the outside side rein is nice and loose, but it's still tight enough that it would help her to go down long and low, and then on the inside I make it a hole or 2 tighter. Bella can be a little bit stiff in the beginning, so that's why it looks hard for her to do this. She softened really well after this. So this is the footage from my lessons. So the main thing that Bella does on the lunge line is she likes to come in towards you, not facing you, but she just likes to move closer to you. So the main thing we worked on was to get her off of me. So the way that we really taught this was a cue with the whip. So basically instead of having the whip always behind her butt, which is what I was taught. I don't know what you've been taught, but that's what I was always taught. But we put it towards her front shoulder to help push her away from me. So that's what we did. And I would hold it in front to push her away, and then I'd hold her by her behind to keep her going at the pace that I wanted to, lowering the whip if she was away from me, and also going at the pace I wanted. That way to signify that everything she's doing is correct. Obviously, this was our first time doing it, so that really didn't happen that often, but just letting you know that's what I did do a couple rides after this, or lunges after this. One exercise that we did a lot this lesson was we started on one end of the arena and we tried to work her over to the other side of the arena, which you're going to see a couple of clips in soon. I think this is the first one. I thought this was super cool because it really teaches adjustability and flexibility on the lunge line as well, which teaches that she doesn't just chase around you. I use lunging in 2 different ways. One way that I'll use lunging is to get some edge off, especially in the wintertime. In the wintertime, a chestnut mare can get a little crazy, so I do like to lunge her sometimes to get that edge off and not just gallop her around until she's calm. And then the other reason that I'll lunge Bella is to train and help build muscle and also work on cues and transitions and all of the things that we struggle on in the flat and jumping. I think you can always improve on the lunge line as well. For example, sometimes Bella can be a little bit hard in the hand. So this is something that I like to do to kind of help teach her to be soft and willing and bending and still work those neck muscles without having me being pulled around. At this point, we were trying to make Bella do as big of a circle as possible, and that's why she went to the canter, because she thought we were cantering. I think she does it one more time, but I still want her to trot, so I made her go back to the trot because I do not want her to canter at this point, even though that canter was really nice. Here she goes again. I didn't ask her for it. She's still learning and figuring out the cue with the whip going from the shoulder to the butt, from the shoulder to the butt, back and forth, and actually staying away from me. I want there to be a little bit of give in the lunge line, but I don't want it drooping towards the floor like it will be when she is actually coming in towards me. So that is something that I really wanted to focus on. But here we are actually working into the canter, I believe, and we start the canter on a smaller circle for a couple of reasons. One, she can get used to the side reins and everything a little bit more collectedly because she can't go that fast on a big circle, and two, that way I know that she's being good before I let her out. There she broke to the trot, but we just let her trot a couple steps because we wanted to make sure that it wasn't anything wrong with the equipment, because Bella hasn't had this equipment on in over a year. I think it's been like a year and a half actually, so she was a little bit confused about it at first, but she was really, really good. So here we're doing that same exercise starting from one corner to the other. It's the same whip cue. If you guys want me to cover kind of how I taught Bella to lunge before this is like step 2. I really should have made a step 1 video, but here we are with step 2 to begin this. So if you want a little mini lunging series or any type of training series, I really enjoy watching other people, so if you're interested, let me know. Bella's a really unique horse, and her training process has been very interesting, so I would love to share it. I'm making a couple videos in relation to that, but let me know. So here she has an episode. I decided to put this at the end of the video to kind of show how I work through some sass. Bella's just testing to make sure I actually am going through with it. It was always in that corner. Instead of being super angry and impatient, I just walk behind her, just like I would to get her to go anyways. And I encourage her to go forwards, and I said good girl every time she did go forward, and we ended up being able to trot on a circle, and then we just did the same thing we've been doing that entire lesson with moving her from one end of the arena to the other, and I just moved her over slowly and slowly and slowly, and we were back on the original circle, and we ended with a really good note. But I wanted to show this just to show you guys that Bella's not always perfect. She has her green moments, and this is how we handled the green moment. And also sometimes Bella doesn't like to be worked for super long periods of time in a row. Hopefully this helped you guys in some way. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see me on a more daily basis, my Instagram will be linked down below in the description. Bye guys.